don't know if you guys can tell, but one side of my makeup is all high-end makeup and the other side is drugstore makeup. Can you guys tell which side is which? Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome to the channel. What's up? My name is Sierra. So for today's video, we're gonna be comparing high-end makeup versus drugstore makeup, and we're gonna see which side looks better. This is the full face, okay? One side is high-end, one side is drugstore. You guys are gonna see which side is which in a little bit, but we're just gonna jump right into today's video. So if you guys are excited, if this seems like something that you guys are into, and if you want to see which is better, high-end makeup versus drugstore makeup, then just keep watching. Again, if you are new, make sure you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so I did my eyebrows off camera, so we're gonna go ahead and get into primer. So when I do my primer, I use two primers. I use one primer to blur underneath my eyes just so I have a smoother canvas, and then I use like a hydrating gripping primer for the rest of my face. I'm gonna start with the One Size Secure the Blur primer, and I'm going to stuff on my hands. I'm just gonna take a little pea-size amount, and I'm just gonna put that underneath this eye. And then on the other eye, I want to use this Milani blurring primer. This is the Blur Out Smoothing Primer. It also has a little bit of a cooling sensation. Don't love that. Would not recommend using it all over the face unless you can handle that, but they both do the same thing. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going to use my gripping primer. So this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Everybody knows and loves this. And then the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Everyone knows and loves this too. Ooh. And then we're just going to rub that in, making sure that everyone's staying in their corners. A lot of the Milk Hydro Grip on the forehead. Okay, skin is tacky, so now we can get into foundation. So I'm a little worried about having like two different shades going on, but we're gonna make it work. So on the high-end side, I have the House Labs foundation. This stuff is so good. And then on this side, I'm gonna use my Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. So we got a foundation and then we got a skin tint, but they both look beautiful on the skin. So this is the House Labs on this side. I'm just gonna blend that out with this beauty blender. This is just so awkward having to just work in halves. But just look at how gorgeous that looks. And then we're gonna do the Maybelline skin tint on this half of the face. And the coverage on this is just immaculate. I swear it's so hard this time of year finding a foundation that exactly matches my undertones. I feel like this side looks a little bit lighter and a little bit more golden than this side. I don't think it's a super unbearable, crazy difference, so I think it's fine, but it's just a little frustrating. Yeah, I think it looks okay. After foundation, I go straight into my powder bronzer. It's just the way I do things. So on the high-end side, I have my Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is the only high-end bronzer that I own. And then on the drugstore side, I'm gonna use my NYX Buttermelt bronzer. Now we're definitely gonna have two different shades going on with the bronzer because the NYX one is a little bit too dark for me, I think. But I'm just gonna try to blend it out to make it look as even as possible. I'll hit the jawline a little bit too, because why not? Okay, and this is the NYX bronzer. I guess it's not that much of a difference. I just feel like it has a little bit of a deeper undertone compared to the Fenty one. I guess it's not that bad. just a little bit more chocolatey. And then that little bit of residue on the jawline. By the way, y'all, please do not mind how bummy I look. Like, I hate that I have this hoodie on, but it is so cold in my room. So just bear with me. Moving on to liquid blush, I'm gonna do the Rare Beauty. This is in the shade Hope. Why am I looking at it like I don't know what this is? And then on this side, I have the e.l.f. Camo liquid blush. This is in the shade Dusty Rose. We're definitely gonna have two different cheek vibes going on, but it's okay. And this was like, well, I guess they are pretty close. Okay. This was the best I could do with trying to match the shades. Okay, so we're gonna blend out the Rare Beauty first. And I'm just trying to keep that on the higher point of my cheek. This stuff is so pigmented. I don't know why I put so much of it on my face. It's just such a pretty, flirty kind of pink for a brown skin girl. And I'm gonna take this other brush and blend out the e.l.f. one. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think they're exact dupes, but they're pretty close. I do think the Rare Beauty has a little bit more pigment and a little bit of an easier blend, like just a little bit, but they're both really pretty formulas regardless. Now for concealer, I'm gonna do the NARS concealer on this side. This is in the shade Sucre d'Orge, or however you say it. And then on this side, I'm gonna do my e.l.f. Camo concealer. This is in the shade Medium Sand. With the NARS, I'm gonna use a lot of this because it can come out a little sheer looking. So I feel like when you use more with this, it's not gonna make you look cakey. Half the chin. Okay, so with the e.l.f., this can look cakey, so I'm just gonna do just a little bit. Do this half of the forehead, Cupid's bow, chin. I'm just gonna use this for my nose. That's just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the e.l.f. one right away, because that NARS one, it needs to sit, otherwise it's gonna look really sheer. But do you all see the coverage on this e.l.f. though? Like, I didn't even use a whole lot, and this is the coverage that I'm getting. I really don't know why people hate this concealer. Let me not say hate it, but there's just so many mixed reviews on this. Some people say it makes them look cakey and it makes them look dry. I don't know, I love this. I'm just blending that right into the liquid blush so it has that seamless blend. I'm gonna use the opposite side of this beauty blender, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the NARS underneath my eye really quick. I love NARS concealer. This side is definitely brighter, but that's just a shade difference kind of thing. Now, gonna blend out the e.l.f. I swear this is just so awkward. Okay, and now we'll blend out the NARS side. Try to blend them in together. This is so awkward. And then blend the nose. Okay, this is what we're looking like. Looking good so far, I think. Okay, for loose setting powders, I'm gonna go in with these two. So I have the One Size translucent powder that I'm gonna use for the high-end side, and then I have this, it's upside down. Then I have this Milani Blur Out translucent powder that I'm gonna use for the drugstore side. This one is, these are two very different powders in my opinion, and I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the One Size one right away. Personally, I prefer the One Size over the Milani just because I feel like the One Size powder is more natural looking. And with that Milani powder, if y'all didn't watch my last video, first of all, y'all need to go and watch it. But oh my gosh, that Milani powder, it's very, very translucent. Like it's pigmented the right word for a powder, but I mean, it's heavy. It's gonna make you look white, especially if you black like me. And I'm not even dark skin, but it's just like, it's gonna make you look white. I mean, it blurs, it does what it needs to do, but it's just a lot of powder. You don't need a lot of it. Okay, so this is the One Size. Now we're gonna go in with the Milani. Just gonna get a little bit out of here, a little bit. With this, you really gotta dump off the excess and rub it into the hand. That helps a little bit, but it's still like a lot of powder. But like, just look at that. If you like a bright under eye, this is for you. I do not like this bright of an under eye. But just look at the difference. That's crazy. So I think with these powders, it all just comes down to personal preference, and I prefer the One Size. And this is not a bad powder, it's just a lot. Gotta try to mash that in. Try to dust some of that off. Even though it's pressed into the skin. Like, this is no baking. Oh, and now my foot's falling asleep. That's nice. Really quickly, I'm just gonna go back in with my bronzer brushes. No additional product, just whatever's left on the brush. That powder took away a little bit of the bronzer. Okay, for powder blushes, so I'm gonna use the Kosas blush on this side, and then I'm gonna use my Milani blush on this side. These shades are not identical, but close enough. Okay, so I'm gonna take some of the Kosas one on this brush, and this is in the shade Bliss. This is the only Kosas shade that I use. I have two other ones and I just have not used them. She is pretty. And then this Milani blush is in the shade Luminoso. Again, this is the only like Milani shade that I use. I remember when I used to not be a blush girl, and now I am. For pressed powders, so I'm debating on how I want to do this because I have different shades. So I do have these lighter shades. So I have this Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the medium shade, but that's really light. And then I have this e.l.f. one that's in the shade light neutral. Or I can neutralize myself a little bit and go in with a little bit of a more natural, closer to my skin tone shade. So I have this NYX powder. This is in the shade tan. And then I have this Charlotte Tilbury one also in the shade tan. So I don't know, do I want to look a little bit deeper, or I don't know what I want to do. Okay, I think this is what I'm going to do. So since my under eye isn't as light as this side, I think it'll be safe for me to go in with the medium shade of the Charlotte Tilbury, which is going to be this one. And then on this side, since my under eye is so light, I'm going to go in with the NYX tan, and we'll see what that looks like. So for this side, I'm gonna take a fluffy brush because I don't need a whole lot of this powder, and this is just gonna blur me a little bit more and bring a little bit of color back into the face. I love this powder so much. I'm so happy I have it back. Okay, just stay on this side and then just set this side over here. And then on this side, I'm gonna go in with the NYX. I'm taking a fluffy brush again. And That's going to, again, blur me out even more and bring color back into the face. Now I can vouch for both of these powders. These are exact dupes. The NYX and the Charlotte Tilbury, dupes. Don't care, dupes. Oh, I didn't contour my nose. Okay, I'm gonna contour my nose off camera really quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, nose is contoured and now we are looking a little bit powdery, but it's okay because now we're gonna set everything. So on the high end side, I'm gonna set my face with the Charlotte Tilbury. It's just gonna rehydrate my face, melt all the powders together and just make me look less powdery. And then on the drugstore side, I'm gonna use my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. These both do the exact same thing. But now it's gonna be weird because I can only do half of my face, so. Oh, I'm not even spraying myself, I'm spraying the air. Oh my goodness, okay. That feels so weird. The Morphe on this side. Yo, I feel like my makeup looks so good right now. It's not even funny how good it looks. I'm gonna go in with mascara next, so let me just curl my lashes real quick and then I'll show you guys my options. Okay, so we have two pink tubes. So for the high-end side, the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And then I have this new mascara by L'Oreal. This is the Paradise Big Deal. Love both of these. Okay, so this is a Too Faced. I need to get some more of this soon. Now we're gonna go with the L'Oreal on the drugstore side, which personally, I feel like L'Oreal's mascaras perform like high-end ones. They're just so good. Okay, time for lips. This is gonna be a little bit awkward. So, for lip liners, high-end side, we got the Makeup Forever. And then on the drugstore side, I have ColourPop. These are two very different browns. The Makeup Forever is definitely gonna be deeper than the ColourPop, but we gonna make it work. We've been making it work this entire video, so we gonna keep making it work. So, Makeup Forever on this half. Oh my gosh, I have chocolate on my lip. This is just so weird. And I'm sorry I keep saying that, but this is weird. Okay, now the ColourPop on this side. I definitely prefer the ColourPop lip liners over the Makeup Forever. I just feel like these are creamier. And then in terms of shade, I definitely prefer this shade over a deep brown. But that's just my personal preference. Okay, time for lipsticks. This is a MAC lipstick. It's in the shade Blankety. And then I have my Morphe liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Virgin. Okay, gotta keep it on half. And now the Morphe on the other side. I don't know how this is about to look. Okay, I feel like the lipstick shades kind of match. Period. Okay, period. Okay. Then for lip oils, I have the Kosas lip oil. This is in like a milky pink shade. It's called Sorbet. And then I got this new L'Oreal lip oil. This is in the shade Milky New. They're both milky pink, so I was like, this will be perfect. So I'm gonna take the Kosas and go on this side. And then I'm gonna take the L'Oreal and go on this side. Ooh. I'm I'm trying to watch what I say here because I don't want to just jump and say, oh, the L'Oreal one is better. Only because this Kosas one is a mini size, so it is a little bit harder to get a whole lot of product out. But basing it off of the packaging right here, I did get a lot more products out with this one. And this is also a plumping gloss, so my lips are starting to tingle a little bit, but yeah. Okay, now for highlighter. So I'm gonna go in with my Rare Beauty highlighter for the high-end side. And then I have this really dirty old palette by BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna show you guys the shades for reference because they're pretty identical. So this is the Rare Beauty shade, and then this shade right here is the one that I use from this palette, and they're pretty similar. They're both like that champagne kind of color. So I'm just gonna use an eyeshadow brush, the Rare Beauty right here on my cheeks. I'm just gonna use this on my nose, I'm not even gonna lie. And then a little bit underneath the brow bone. And then on this side, we're gonna go into, again, this shade right here and do the exact same thing. Okay, and to finally set everything, we're gonna use the One Size Until Dawn setting spray on this half of the face, and then the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist on this side. Both like hairsprays for your face. That felt so weird. And then the L'Oreal. Okay, you guys, this is the final makeup look. I'm gonna keep my hair clipped back just so you guys can see and actually compare. So, now that you guys have seen everything, comment down below which side you think is better. Do you think the high-end side is better or the drugstore side? I'm just gonna sit still for a quick second. And then I'll turn to the side so you guys can see the highlight. Get a good look at the cheeks and the blush, the bronzer, all that stuff. Let me know which side you guys think is better. Because personally, I don't even think if y'all hadn't seen this video that y'all would be able to tell that I used high-end makeup on one side and drugstore makeup on the other side, because I feel like it looks pretty identical. It looks really good in my opinion. But you guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and had as much fun as I did doing it. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give me a huge thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are not already. Make sure you click the bell so you receive notifications every time that I post, and make sure you are following me on Instagram. I'll have that username in the description box down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.